let's talk about overhead squats. Overhead squats is the ultimate expression of both shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle control and mobility. So it's not just going to be flexibility, but it's going to be the aspect of control. There's going to be a couple specific components that you need to be focusing on. Specifically, number one is trying to keep the weight centered over your base of support. So what that means is as that bar is hanging up overhead, it should be sitting right in the middle of your foot, maybe slightly in front of your ankle. And what that means is as we hold that bar up, we need to make sure that we actually evenly distribute our knees and our hips and our torso as well as that bar straight up and down. So how do we do that? Well, first off, we have to make sure we have the optimal grip. I personally like to have it so that when my elbows are up, my elbows are straight, and that bar is going to be sitting right behind my ears. And I also need to make sure that I'm not pushing my head through, because that's also going to put a lot of pressure on my shoulders and my neck. In regards to the foot position, you are going to experiment. Some people prefer a much more narrow stance. If you say have longer legs, you're going to want a little bit more of a wider stance. And the reason being is the fact that you want to be able to keep that torso upright as you squat up down. Now, what that also means is that as you're sitting back, as you're squatting on down, the knees have to drive out in order for you to be upright. Because if your knees drive forward, you are end up having your hips go like this and your bar is going to end up forward. Or in some cases, as you're pushing your butt back, you're trying to arch your chest up. And as you can see, I'm arching my back a lot, which is going to create a lot of pressure in my back as well as my hips. So as you're doing this, your goal is it's totally okay to let that torso rock forward, but you need to drive those knees out as far as you can to be able to keep that bar straight overhead. Because you don't want to go like this, you don't want to arch super tall. And it's going to be particularly helpful, especially when you are wearing lifters, because it allows you to be up on your toes. But make sure as you go down, drive those knees out, and it allows you to keep a much more upright torso without arching your back, which can create a lot of pressure. Try that out. Let me know how it goes.